Hey guys, happy Monday to you. Hope everyone had a wonderful and blessed Easter holiday weekend. And that you are feeling wonderful and just great this morning. I'm getting in the car and I'm headed to my home at this time at the end of the day. And I just thought I would just share a weekly word with you. And the weekly word this week is when the answer is no. What do you do when the answer is no? You know, I've had two situations in my life where I just really lost faith. You know, I'm just human like anybody else. And I still have down times, but my faith is at a place where it is a lot stronger now. And sometimes they say, well, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And sometimes we can have the best laid plans for our life and the best goals, but it's not what God has for you. You can tell God the desires of your heart, but the route you plan to get there may not be the route that God has for you to go there. And your plan in life may be limiting what God has for your life. You may be putting limits on the blessings that God has for you. And you're praying for something, but God got something bigger and better for you in store. And I tell you, I had the pleasure of hearing the speaker by the name of Inky Johnson over the summer. My brother blessed me and took me to the conference, Get Ready, Stay Ready. It was an Eric Thomas conference in Houston this summer. And one of the speakers, I may have spoken about him before, was named Inky Johnson. And I'm going to drop a link to part of his testimony so you all can hear it down in the description box. But it was about his life and how God had, told him no to what he thought was his future, of how he was going to provide for his family, and the things that even in the darkest hours, his faith led him to something bigger and better, and to his purpose and his calling, and that he was able to draw some people to Christ because of it, and people got salvation. And I tell you, sometimes, you can preach all day long, but how are you living? Are you an example in what you do? Are you just a Sunday morning churchgoer? When you receive a no, how do you handle it? Do you believe God is still in the plan? Do you believe he still has something better and bigger for you? I heard years ago, it was Joel Osteen who said, he was preaching a sermon, and I kept this, and I've kept and held on to this for years. Since then, rejection is protection. Y'all, I have been wanting to change jobs for some time now. And I've dealt with some things that have not been quite right on my job. But like I said, the good outweighs the bad. And I have, at one point in my life, my morale had gotten so low on that job, it was difficult for me to even go to work. But I had a purpose for going, because I knew that my daughter needed to her tuition paid. So I had to go to work. And I couldn't quit. I was at a point that I probably would have walked out otherwise, not even knowing how I was going to take care of myself. And it had gotten to a point where I was like, Lord, I need you to move me. Now I was applying for jobs, and I'm still applying for jobs, mind you. But it's not because I'm miserable anymore. I tell you what I asked God to do, and I couldn't understand why God wouldn't just move me out of this position. I'm just miserable. You know, I couldn't understand it. But sometimes it's not about you. It's about, you can be a testimony. Someone told me, I see the stuff that you're going through, but I see how you are reacting to it, how you're dealing with it. And so this little thing that has happened to me, and when I see it all you done been through, I know that I can handle it. And that's a testimony. And I was like, you know, maybe for no other reason, God used my situation to bless somebody else, to know that they could make it through it. But the answer was no, I'm not going, you know, I was like praying. And when I decided to change my prayer, I'm like, you know, God got something better for me. And I haven't seen it yet, but I believe God for favor, and I'm going to keep working towards it. I know that he has something in store for me. You know, and I just know it, and I believe it. What it is, I don't know. But I keep putting forth an effort, and I keep applying. And sometimes I go on these interviews, and I be like, I know what I do bad on the interview, but I be like, I killed that interview. I killed that interview. I did great. And then I get feedback. You did wonderful. But guess what? The answer's still no. I get rejected. And I had to look at that. Rejection is protection. But when I prayed about my situation on my job, I didn't pray God move anybody, including me. I said, God, when it's my time to be blessed for something else, you open that door. I will get an offer. But I didn't ask God for any of that. I asked God to let me accept the no's and be okay with it. And I asked God, all I asked for in that prayer was, God, please restore my joy. Because I had lost joy. Please restore my joy. And this has been a few years ago, y'all. I think my daughter was a sophomore in college that I said this prayer. God, please restore my joy. Change me. Now, I didn't say change anybody else. Change me so I can be conditioned to deal with whomever and still treat them with love and kindness. Still treat them right. And not, you know, and it be sincere. And what you ask God for, he gives it. He gave me back my joy. But I'm going to tell you, I was praying that they would still treat them right. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, God going to honor your prayer. Because guess what he did? I would avoid them, y'all. You know, I would really speak, and that would be the end of it for the day. I didn't want no interactions with them if I didn't have to. But God put me in a situation where I had to interact with them, sometimes one-on-one. And then they would tell me, the people would be telling me their sob stories and things that they're going through. And I had to not only be a one-on-one situation and conversate with them. Okay, y'all, I know conversate is not a word. Let me say it right before somebody go ballistic. And I'm well educated. Converse, okay, with them. Y'all get the joke, I hope. Anyway, and I would have to show compassion and love towards this person or people. And this was two different individuals. And I tell you the truth, y'all. I'm not only, when you dealing with, you trying to do something to move yourself out of a situation, to prepare yourself and go forward and do more, and God is still sitting you there. And I'm telling you, your example of how you live and how you walk your life, you can see 10 scriptures and be able to say 5 or 10 scriptures to everybody's situation. Here you go. You done told them 900 scriptures out the Bible, and then you not living any of them. How you deal with no, how you deal with rejection, how you deal with things that don't go your way. Do you give up and fall apart and just let it go? Act like God beating you up and he don't love you. God still loves you. How do you deal with that? They done blocked out the whole turning lane. This poor man can't even get over the turn. But I'm here to tell you, y'all, you have to be able to be a testimony even in trying situations. When your situation is bleak and you feel like, well, God, you done forgot all about me. You know, I keep trying, I keep doing this, I keep putting forth an effort. And when I get there, something bad happens or something terrible happens. I done saved up $10,000 to get this house. and something is happening, I need to put this $10,000 everywhere. Because maybe that's what you know, it's not right now. It's not meant to be right now. And that's what I have to understand. That our plan does not always align with God's plan. And sometimes the answer for our best benefit is no. Have you ever been in a situation where you are going along with your day? It was just amazing to hear people in 9/11 talk about just the little things that caused them to not be in the Twin Towers during that time. And sometimes you be all frustrated and this not going your way and this, that, and the other not going your way. And again, that's what I say. Rejection is God's protection. You'll arrive and you running late and you rushing and you see somebody rushing and then you get up there and it's a wreck. And you wonder, that could have been me. And that's just in a tragic situation. You get in a situation where something good is happening, something bountiful happening. Have you ever say, like, you remember that show, A Deal or No Deal? Y'all know I'm all over the place. Y'all know how I do. Deal or no deal. And the people will say, do you want this suitcase or that suitcase? Sometimes, people would turn down the suitcase and they would open up the next one or whatever. And it would be a bigger amount. That's what I'm saying. You just taking sometimes they say a bird in the hand is worth more than the bush or whatever. But anyway, you take that. And I was one of them ones sitting on the sideline saying, ooh, I'll take that. It's more than what I had. But guess what? When you take whatever, you limiting God. You limiting what your potential may be. You limiting, and it's not always the no to what you want. You'll say, well, I pray that God bless me with this. And this is part of it. So this look like an answer is yes. But the answer is no. Do you grab the first thing that even looked like part of what your request was? And there's nothing wrong with being satisfied in your situation. But do you not believe and have enough faith to wait on God, to wait on the yes answer, to wait on the full, complete yes answer? And that's even for a mate. You done pray for this, that, and the third. They always say, too, be careful what you pray for. You just might get it. But you done pray for everything that you want in a mate. And this person come with 50% of that, right? They come with 50% of it. And you say, well, just for me not to be by myself, I'm going to settle. It looked like a yes, but you know in your heart, because deep down, you saying this ain't it. Deep down, you know in your heart that that's not the answer to your prayer. But you accept it anyway. And then you be saying, well, God, I prayed for it. But you knew that something wasn't right. Because God may not speak to you audibly, but he gives you signs. And you know when it's not the answer is no. What do you do when the answer is no? What do you do when the answer is no? Do you have a hissy fit, but you still hold strong to your faith? I was talking to a young lady at work, and she was saying, I knew that wasn't the person God had for me. And he was a good person. And he had all of these 4 points, but 10 was missing. You know, not to say everybody going to be 100% perfect, but you know what you've prayed for God for. And it's nothing unreasonable. And you there, and you don't genuinely love that person. You just say, I'm going to go with it because, you know, he's a good provider. He goes to work, this, that, and the third. He got benefits or whatever, you know. So I'm going to go with it. But you knowing all along that was a no answer from God, but you're going to make it into a yes yourself. What to do when you have a no answer? I say keep working, keep believing, and keep having faith. And faith is something that, you know, I didn't realize until I got grown. It's different for everybody. And I have doubts, and then I go back and forth sometimes. But I'm telling you, it only takes a small amount of faith and working. They say faith without works is dead. Keep working and believing toward what you want, and keep believing God, because he got your yes answer, but it's in his time, not in your time. And understand that your plan has to align with what God has planned for your life. And where you are today, keep planted in the Word. Keep growing spiritually, financially, emotionally. I think I saw that on my brother's Motivational Monday, and it was a quote from Denzel that said those 3 things, I believe. And you don't know where you may be 6 months from now. Your journey to a yes may take a 10-year period, where someone else's took a 2-year period or a 1-day period. But that's the plan that God had for their life and not yours. Live in your purpose. And I promise you, if you keep doing what you're supposed to do and keep having faith and keep believing, you may not know your purpose specifically. We don't have all the answers, but God will lead you to your purpose. I promise you that. And your purpose may not be able but affect somebody. How you live, the example you live by. I got a real slick mouth, y'all. I really do. And I'll cut you with my tongue sometimes, you know. And I have to watch that, because somebody's not only watching me and how I live. I'm a work in progress. Lord knows I am. And sometimes I take it there. And I have to pray continuously. And that's why I tell y'all, to be honest with you, you stay in prayer. You have a spiritual relationship with God yourself. Know the word for yourself. But one thing that you always should do, pray for others. Because I'm telling you, at those lowest times, 2 lowest times in my life, I know it was somebody intercessory prayer that saved me. Somebody prayed for me. And it's a blessing when somebody can pray for you. So I always pray for others, y'all. And remember that how you deal with the no is an example sometimes of how you can be a testimony of how they can deal when the answer is no, and what to do when the answer is no. Keep believing and keep praying even when it's not working out how you thought it would. Because your life and your plan is not what you limit to. Know that God has all power. And what the blessings of your life that he has are limitless. Yeah, I just encourage you to be encouraged. Stay focused. And know that the answer is no, and what to do when the answer is no is not the end of everything. There is something beyond that no. It gets greater later. I don't know who says that. It gets greater later. Better is yet to come. And your answer, your yes, will follow when it's your time for that yes. No, it's not the end. Y'all keep praying and loving on each other. Know that you're loved. I love you, but God surely loves you the most. Remember to always be kind to yourself and others. Be joyful and be blessed. And y'all, look at these cars coming around this corner quick. Remember to treat each other well. Share your beautiful smile. Help and uplift and encourage someone this week. Let them know they're loved. And if they see them struggling, let them know this right now. No, don't mean a no forever. I love y'all all. And I'll see you later this week. And this was a long one, but I appreciate the ride. Y'all ride with me home. I've just turned into my home, and I'm going to get on around here. I'll talk to y'all later this week for a meal and a chat. I'm going to eat something good. Bye, y'all.